where fun meets fright, where every experience transports you to a world of fun. Play 18 holes of blacklight mini-golf in ancient Egypt, a haunted house, and beyond the grave. Step inside our virtual reality arena, where you take control of video games and virtual worlds. Battle robots, shoot zombies, and compete against your friends. Throw your next birthday with our VIP Party Pack. Our party pros are ready to entertain you with a fright fest you'll never forget. Perfect for an action-packed date night full of flirty fun. Our state-of-the-art arcade has the latest games with the coolest prizes. Be sure to feast on some tasty morsels in the Graveyard Grill. So come on, bring your ghoulish gang over to Scary Strokes, where every experience matters. Welcome to Scary Strokes.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rock and roll here this evening with another wild show of racing action here this evening as the Slingshot Sim Racing Series getting ready for their second elimination race of the season. As this is playoff race number 6, and we will see the exit of 4 more drivers out of the playoffs. 4 drivers will unfortunately be removed from our playoffs, and we'll go from the round of 12 down to the round of 8 after this race. So that means 4 drivers will be eliminated. 12 drivers will be left to duke it out here for another 3 races before our Championship 4 go to battle at the beautiful Phoenix International Speedway. So we're going to get ready to duke it out here. We're going to get ready to battle at the beautiful Charlotte Motor Speedway, Charlotte, USA, here this evening, and not the Roval. I know real life NASCAR, they ran the Roval here for this elimination race on Sunday. We do not run the road courses here in the series, so we are back on the oval track where we normally see the Coca-Cola 600 and these NASCAR drivers duke it out and battle around the oval style of a speedway here at Charlotte. So, mixes it up a little bit here in the series, makes it a little bit easier probably for a lot of these drivers out there not having to run the Roval. Obviously, that is a lot of different work. You gotta really be up and through the gears and make your way around the road course, and not only turning right, but also turning left at the same time out there on the speedway. So, no Roval. We are here at the oval and Charlotte Motor Speedway for a elimination race here. Down to our Championship 8 after this evening as Ty Dickinson, Sweet Tea Gang himself, coming in with that heart reaction here on the broadcast. Andrew Hainsley coming in with that like on the stream, as well as we'll get ready to go to battle. We'll get ready to duke it out here as drivers out on the racetrack getting their qualifying session in. And so far we've had 13 cats jump out onto the racetrack and lay down lap times. Right now, William McKellar with the quick time here in qualifying. Victor Fluger in position number 2. Brandon Honeycutt, John McNeil, and Brandon Ishkanian is our top 5 here in the qualifying session. As Bryce says, Brycey Bear is sick with the flu. Oh no, not Brycey Bear! That's a tough one for Brycey Bear. I know he was, one of those drivers that were just on the outside of a transfer spot looking in here, was hoping to have himself a good day and a good race to try to put himself potentially into the winner's circle here this evening, and maybe just a good run to move on to the next round of these NASCAR playoffs here with the Slingshot Sim Racing Series. As Justin James Young coming in with the big love as well, just says boo flu, and good luck to Ty, cheered on Ty here as well, as Ty says he can't stay away from the Sweet Tea porta potties. Oh no, that's a little too much information right there, Ty. That's a little bit too much information, as we didn't need to know that. No, I'm just kidding. That's a tough break, and man, we're hoping for a quick recovery for old Brycey Bear, Bryce Dickinson, and hope to see him back out here next week. Unfortunately, I do believe that will eliminate him from our playoffs, and that could really, lock a lot of these drivers in where they can feel pretty confident going into that next race, knowing that they could, potentially have their race and have their run here this evening and not have to worry too much about what they need to do or how they need to work themselves into the show here this evening. So maybe a little bit more of a chilled, laid back, relaxed race for some of those drivers that are a little closer to our cut line as we'll get ready here for our main feature event. Drivers lining up here on the front straightaway at the beautiful Charlotte Motor Speedway, and we will get ready to rock and roll. And starting on the pole in the Voltec Robco Industries number 75, it's the Fallout New Vegas machine of William McKellar. To his outside, that is the Team Watson Racing number 80, right, the TWRS machine of Victor Pfluger, starting there in second. To his outside, as in the Enough is Enough number 13, that is Brandon Honeycutt. To his outside will be the McNeil Media number 48 of John McNeil. Starting in position number 5 in the 25, it's another one of those TWRS machines, that is Brandon Ishkanian. Starting in position number 6 in the Tennessee Titans ride, that is Zach Lockett. And starting on the inside, a row number 4 on the racetrack, the 82 is the Liberty University Camaro of Christopher DeWalt. To his outside will be the 42, the Sim Motion machine of Leroy Koblenz. Starting on the inside, a row number 5 is the TaylorMade number 71, the Liberty Flames machine of Greg O'Berry. To his outside in the number 13 ride, it's another one of the TWRS machines, that is Colin Johnston. Starting in position number 11 in the 29, that is the Sonic Graphic Designs ride of Andrew Hainsley. To his outside in the Sim Motion number 13, that is Christian Delgado. Starting in position number 13 in the E&D Farms Papa Mike Promotions Peacemaker Racing Teams number 67 is the E&D Farms ride of Ty Dickinson. Starting to his outside in the Anything EC Sparkle and Shine number 19, that is Sean Jensick. Starting in the 15th spot in the number 20, he's one of our playoff hopefuls in the Sim Motion number 20 machine, it's Russell Martin Jr. He was outside in the 12 ride in the Sanfilippo Solutions. That is the number 12 of Brandon Sanfilippo, bringing up the rear of the field. 16 drivers ready to roll here from the beautiful Charlotte Motor Speedway as we end all the anticipation with our feature presentation. And we are quickly green flag racing here at Charlotte for our 6th playoff race of the season. Is down through quarter 1 and out of quarter number 2. Going to slide up in front of the 80 right is Willie McKellar. So McKellar will take us down the back straightaway here on our opening lap. He'll lead us down into quarter number 3. John McNeil trying to get wound up here on the high side, already looking to make moves into third as McKellar out of quarter number 4 will lead lap number 1 here this evening. So McKellar out in front, leading that early lap as here comes Pfluger down to his inside, the TWRS machine getting hooked up, getting wound up the speed, and he's already looking to try to jump up here and take the race lead away from McKellar. McKellar got up, scrubbed the outside wall there on the exit of corner number 2, then killed a little bit of his momentum down the back straightaway, draws in the 80 right, closer to the front of the field, door to door out at quarter number 4. The 80 right of Victor Pfluger will lead lap number 2 here this evening. John McNeil trying to follow him right on through as McNeil rolling there in third. Brandon Ishkanian there in position number 4 and looking for more. Zach Lockett there in 5th as Leroy Koblenz, Christian Delgado, Greg O'Berry, and Ty Dickinson round out our top 9 here on the Speedway. Colin Johnson going to move around Brandon Honeycutt as Honeycutt early in this race, sliding backwards here, already down 9 spots as there goes Christian Delgado. Here comes Brandon Sanfilippo to move him back maybe double digits here from where he started this evening. Couple drivers on the move to the front. Ty Dickinson already up 4 spots here on the racetrack. See Christian Delgado, he's up 5 spots here early in this race. As Victor Pfluger leads the way, here comes McKellar trying to work back down to his inside. McKellar looking to try to jump up and take this race lead back away from the 80 right as McNeil right there, and here comes Here comes Brandon Ishkanian there in position number 4. Zach Lockett there in position number 5 as a couple of our playoff hopefuls here this evening up there battling at the front of the field. As let's take a look here, we can get a good look at our at our playoff standings, where these drivers are kind of lined up, where they're kind of ready to rock and roll, and where they're kind of hanging out here for these playoffs right now, is there's a few drivers within contention, within striking distance. It's going to be interesting to see who is going to be able to move themselves closer and closer to the front of the field and potentially pick up a ticket into the round of 8. As right now, Bryce Dickinson, Andrew Hainsley, they're on the outside looking in. Doug Roth and James Smith are officially eliminated. Both drivers not here this evening, and both drivers not racing in this race cannot move forward. Same with Bryce Dickinson. The only driver that's outside of a transfer spot that could potentially work his way in is Andrew Hainsley. Now Hainsley is going to have a darn near perfect race here, picking up some points out there on the racetrack for our he's going to need stage points. He's going to need points at the end of the race, being up towards the front of the field. He could also win this race and lock his way in, which would move one of those drivers deeper in the field out of a playoff spot. But right now, sitting comfortably is Russell Martin Jr., John McNeil, Christopher Delwald, William McKellar, Zach Lockett, Greg O'Berry, Sean Jensick, and the number 13 of Christian Delgado. All sitting here feeling pretty good about their opportunity and their runs here this evening to try to work themselves into the round of 8 here in our championship. As Caster Plays coming in, showing the love over there on YouTube, says, "Hey boy, what's good, Caster? How are you, my dude?" Coming in, showing the love is Justin James Young, says, "Let's fucking go, Ty!" Cheering on Mr. Dickinson out there on the speedway, as Ty rolling a little deeper back here now as the number 67 ride goes back a spot here into the 10th position, but still rolling here inside the top 10 on the racetrack. As Victor Pfluger out in front, trying to keep this 75 ride. William McKellar back there at bay, as here comes another one of the TWRS machines. That is Brandon Ishkanian working himself up into third here as McNeil slides back to fourth. Here comes Zach Lockett, the number 42 of Leroy Koblenz, the 13 of Christian Delgado. Christopher DeWald there in 8th, and then we see Ty Dickinson getting back around the 71 right here. Greg O'Berry up the racetrack. He's actually going to slide outside the top 10 as Brandon Sanfilippo will jump up into position number 10 here on the speedway. Greg O'Berry back to 11th with Russell Martin Jr. working down to his inside. Colin Johnston there in 13th. Brandon Honeycutt back there in 14th. And then we see Andrew Hainsley, one of those playoff hopefuls, back here in that 15th position. And Sean Jensick already taking that 19 ride off the speedway. So Jensick coming in, shows up, gets his starting points, and backs that car out of the race here. I do believe he was already locked in here virtually on points, so I believe he is a-okay to work himself in here and not have to worry about the points too much on this evening, as the points are going to be a big cause here. And I do believe, even statistically, with only 16 drivers starting this race, other than biting a Andrew Hainsley win here this evening, I do believe our top 8 are already set, with the 20 ride of Russell Martin Jr. picking up that final position here in this championship. With only 16 cars, there's not a lot of give or take if you get crashed out even early in this race, like the number 19 or this 20 ride, where if he comes home in the 15th position, letting an Andrew Hainsley win, I don't think Andrew could accumulate enough points to leapfrog this 20 ride into the playoffs. So unfortunately, it's not undoable, but looking fairly bleak here this evening for Andrew Hainsley, who's going to have to try to use a little bit of strategy or something to try to get this 29 ride towards the front of the field and maybe put him in position late in this race to pick up that win and punch his way through to the round of 8 and will work himself into the next stage of our NASCAR playoffs here this evening. As out in front, Victor Pfluger continuing to lead the way. Pfluger here at the front of the field, showing these drivers how to get it done. As Caster Plays says, "I'll be back. Let's go, baby." I appreciate that. Coming in, showing the love here in this one, Caster. Coming in, showing the love. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you haven't already, make sure you guys, please do us a favor. Smash that like button on the broadcast. Hit that share button if you're feeling courteous. And make sure you guys hit hit that subscribe button over there on YouTube, hit that follow button over on Facebook or Twitch, and make sure you turn those bell notifications on. That way you never miss it when we go live here on Peacemaker Gaming with some amazing racing action, whether it's here on the flat top, here on the asphalt, and battling here with the NASCAR rides, whether it's the Cup Series, Truck Series, Xfinity Series, or any of the amazing pavement cars that we have on display here on Peacemaker Gaming. But make sure you get a chance to tune in and feel the rush of the dirt track racing here as well through iRacing, and really get to feel the experience of being at the real-life racetrack, whether it's here in NASCAR or here on the dirt tracks on Peacemaker Gaming. You always feel like you're right here at the track, right in the seats, and ready to jump out there and have some fun as, man, these guys make it look easy, but trust me, it is a lot of tough work out there on the racetrack, and they are all working their butts off right now. Is out in front, Victor Pfluger continuing to lead the way with McKellar there in second, only a few car lengths back behind him here, about 5/10 of a second, half a second between first and second, then about the same distance back to our third place driver, Brandon Ishkanian. As Ish rolling there in position number 3, we see Zach Lockett in the Tennessee Titans number 93 ride rolling there in position number 4 and looking for more. John McNeil in the McNeil Media number 48 ride there in 5th with Leroy Koblenz back there behind him in that 6th spot. Christian Delgado, Brandon Sanfilippo, and Ty Dickinson battling door to door here for position number 8 on the Speedway. Ty was able to try to jump up and take that spot away, but Sanfilippo will battle back here and slide back in front of the 67 ride. So move the E&E Farms, Papa Mike Promotions, Peacemaker Gaming 67 ride back into the 9th position as Brandon Honeycutt rejoins the top 10 here. So Honeycutt started in the 3rd position to start this race. Instantly fell back quickly out there on the Speedway. Unfortunately, right there for the 13 ride as he went from basically towards the front of the field all the way to the back of the pack. And I think that may have been more of a strategy move here out of this 13 ride. Maybe trying to take it a little bit easier. Maybe trying to save the tires on this 13 ride and maybe try to have a bigger, longer run than the rest of those drivers. If they're still pushing the throttle down, working their cars and burning their equipment up towards the front of the field, this 13 and even the 71 ride potentially taking it a little bit easier, trying to keep these tires underneath of them and waiting for this run to go very long where they can kind of pick them off lap by lap by lap, start to pick up that speed as everyone else starts to fall off. They start to get a little quicker out there on the racetrack and working their way towards the front of the field. As Victor Pfluger out in front, showing these drivers how to get it done. McKellar there in second. Brandon Ishkanian back there in position number 3. Zach Lockett, John McNeil are top 5 on the racetrack. And then we see Leroy Koblenz, Christian Delgado, Brandon Honeycutt, Brandon Sanfilippo, and then Grango Berry are top 10 as Ty Dickinson shoots down the racetrack here onto the apron. Down the back straightaway, still on the apron here through quarter number 3 and 4 as well. I'm not sure if we're going to see this E&D Farms number 67 ride come down pit side, and that's exactly what we're going to see. So Ty Dickinson, the Sweet Tea Gang ride himself, going to head down pit side, one of the first drivers to come down pit road here this evening. Now, I'm not sure if this was a scheduled pit stop, trying to run a little bit of strategy here for the 67, or if he's going to pull it down here and maybe had some contact with the outside fence. Doesn't look like any damage on his ride, so a tough break as he's going to pull it into his pit box. Unfortunately, I do believe he's a little too close to the wall here for the crew to do some work. There we go. He's actually going to take it behind pit wall. So a tough break here for Ty Dickinson as he takes his car off of the racetrack here in this one, as Victor Pfluger going to come out in front and look to try to open up this lead more and more between himself and McKellar. Ishkanian, Lockett, McNeil are top 5 with Koblenz, Delgado, Honeycutt now up into 8th, Grango Berry there in 9th, and Brandon Sanfilippo rounding out our top 10. Colin Johnston there in 11th with Russell Martin Jr. there in 12th. Andrew Hainsley in that 13th position, and Christopher DeWald back here in position number 14 on the Speedway. And we see Ty Dickinson and Sean Jensick both taking their rides back behind pit wall here on the Speedway. So our 15th and 16th place drivers off of the racetrack. John Ross also off the speedway as he is the man with the plan. He's the master man up there in the admin box, he's making all the calls, making sure that he keeps an eye on all these drivers, really gives them a heads up on caution flags or what's happening out there on the speedway, making sure that these drivers stay under control out there on the speedway. As Victor Pfluger is under control here, and he is opening up that lead now over a second between himself and McCallum. As McCallum starting to draw in a little bit farther back here in the 25 right, starting to draw into his back bumper as Ishkani and Ish looking to try to jump up here and put this 25 right at the front of the field. Zach Lockett right there ready to strike, as well as the 93 right rolls in fourth. He's looking to join this fight up in for that second spot on the speedway as the 25 TWRS, the Team Watson Racing Setups ride, now into position number 2 here on the speedway. McKellar going to slide back to third as here comes Lockett, here comes McNeil, Leroy Koblenz, Christian Delgado right there as well, ready to work themselves closer to the front of the pack as you do see the 13 starting to come on strong here in this one as the Sim Motion number 13 ride rolling there in that 7th position, having himself a heck of a day so far. Let's see if we can jump on board here with this 13 of Delgado as he rolls in to his Sim Motion teammates. Back bumper of Leroy Koblenz. Both these drivers looking to try to work their way into the top 5 out there on the racetrack as our race leader trying to stretch out that lead more and more and more here on the speedway. We also got a little inside look here on this number 13 ride as well. Let's see if we can get a look in at this number 13, see what Christian Delgado seeing here as a little bit of a stack up right there in front of him. Things are going to get a little tight right here as he's trying to work himself through it, trying to figure out a way to not only get around his teammate, but now around that 93 of Zach Lockett. Is getting a great look right here at that 13 ride. Christian Delgado working himself up through the field, trying to get himself closer and closer to the front of the pack. Huge shout out there to Christian having that webcam turned on for us, allowing us to peer into the behind the scenes here of this 13 machine, see what he's doing in the cockpit, how he's rolling around the racetrack, and what he surrounds himself there in the gaming room to really get himself immensely locked into these races and feel immersed here in the simulator. And you can see the racing memorabilia around him here getting hooked in, and he's just feeling good out there on the speedway, feeling comfortable there in his cockpit. And he's showing that speed as now he's worked himself around the 42, he's worked himself around the 93 of Lockett, and he's worked himself now inside the top 5 and trying to close the gap here on the 75 of McKellar. Is McKellar right there in front of him, trying to hang on here as he's already slid back into position number 4, trying to keep himself out of the way as Ty says wheel shut off twice, still fighting issues. Oh no, Ty, brother. Ah man, that's a tough one right there, my dude. That's a tough one. I don't know what you need, but I don't know, brother. I feel like you might need a new wheel or something. I don't know, man. What type of wheel do you even run? Is it like a software update maybe that you have to do? I'm assuming you went through all those steps of software updates and everything else. I don't know if it's maybe like the gearing inside the wheel or something starting to slip, or oh man, that's a tough one. I don't know why we'd be doing that. I don't know how long you've had it or anything else for being able to send it away and have them look at it and repair it or whatever else under warranty. If not, I mean, it might be time for a new one, brother. It might be time for a new racing wheel there for the Sweet Tea Gang ride. We'll have to wait and the best for you, my dude. We'll have to wait and hope for the best for you. You never want to have those steering wheel issues, especially in a couple big races out there, especially if you were one of those drivers contending for a championship or moving on to the next round or anything else, and having an issue like that, it's going to be very, very tough. As it's Fanatec uninstalled everything today and reinstalled. It did it last night as well. No warranty. Papa Mike and Mama Bear. Oh gosh. Yeah, that's tough. That's tough, man. And the Fanatechs, they are not cheap at all, man. I mean, I don't know. I've always used the Logitech G920. It works wonders. I don't know. I don't know the difference between the Fanatechs and the Logitechs. Obviously, Fanatechs are a little bit more expensive. I believe most of them are all, the direct drive wheels compared to like what the Logitechs are. So, I mean, I don't know. cheap, quicker option would be to find one of the Logitech wheels and maybe use it. Will you send the Fanatec away to get repaired? Maybe. I don't know what your next steps would be. I don't know. That's a sticky situation out there as. And some great racing, some great runs out here on the speedway. These drivers putting on a heck of a show for us. Is out in front. Victor Pfluger continuing to lead the way here. Pfluger at the front of the pack in that Team Watson Racing setups ride. He continues to lead the way here by just about 2 seconds now between himself and the 48 of John McNeil. As McNeil slides into position number 2 is Brandon Ishkanian there in third. Christian Delgado back there in fourth with Leroy Koblenz, our top 5 here on the racetrack. The locked-in Lockett, Zach Lockett, Tennessee Titans ride back here in position number 6 as William McKellar there in the full tech. Fallout New Vegas ride slides back to 7th. Rango Berry rounding out our top 8 here on the speedway as Brandon Honeycutt and Brandon Sanfilippo round out our top 10. Christopher DeWald there in 11th with Colin Johnston there in 12th. Russell Martin Jr., Andrew Hainsley, Ty Dickinson and Sean Jensick rounding out our field here in this one as already over 30 laps into this race, rolling up closer and closer towards lap number 40 here on the evening. So almost 4/10 of the way through this feature event, and these drivers are clicking the laps off in a quick hurry. This Ty says, oh well, I wasn't in the playoffs, just raced to support John. I know that, brother. And hey, you know what? We love the support. We love the support. And it's not just support for John. It's support for the whole league and support for myself as well. You know, one more driver, a couple more drivers out there on the racetrack always makes things a little bit more interesting. Always makes my day a little bit more funner, especially when I get to watch, you know, my brother is out there racing on the speedway. So it's always good to see you and Dwight's out there still battling here in the series. And it sucks that Bracey Bear wasn't able to jump in here and race this evening, knowing that he was only 8 points shy of making it into that championship 8, making it into that next round and being able to compete and battle there for the championship here this year. As Momo Bear says, sorry Ty, sorry Ty. No love for you. No, I'm just kidding. No love for you. No luck. No more Fanatec equipment for you, brother. Momo Bear said so. No, I'm just kidding. That's a tough break right there, brother. That's a tough break. I'm sure Fanatec can fix it, or maybe you can find somebody at like a local electronics store maybe that might be able to fix it or something, or maybe another iRacer that lives around you maybe will, you know, have the tricks or the sorcery to be able to kind of repair it and get it fixed up, you know, cheaply and easily without having to do anything crazy to it maybe. I mean, who knows? As Victor Pfluger out in front, 2.4 seconds now the gap between himself and John McNeil. McNeil there in second with Christian Delgado back there in position number 3. Leroy Koblenz and Brandon Ishkanian are top 5 here as Ish starting to slide backwards here in that 25 ride. Was up into position number 2 and now finds himself back in position number 5 as Zach Lockett running into some issues here as well. Looks like he's running into some connection issues in that 93 ride, unfortunately blinking quite a few times right there, and unfortunately that's going to slide him all the way back now to the 9th position on the racetrack. As there in front of him goes William McKellar, the 13 of Brandon Honeycutt, and that 71 of Grango Berry, now up into 6th and 7th here, and they're trying to close the gap on the 25 of Brandon Ishkanian in a quick hurry. As Christian Delgado continues to work his way towards the front of the field, the Sim Motion number 13 Ryan rolls there in position number 3 on the speedway now with his teammate right there behind him, but they're trying to hunt down Victor Pfluger and the 48 of John McNeil as Pfluger continues to stretch out his lead over 2.5 seconds now between himself and John McNeil. As Pfluger down across the line, he will click off another lap. 43 laps into this one as Leo Carr says, y'all got a Discord? We do have a Discord. We got multiple Discords, Leo. What are you looking for? Are you looking to try to join the league, or what you want the Discord for? That's the big question. As Ty says, I'll be tearing it apart tomorrow. You're going to be tearing apart the Fanatec. See, I don't know, brother. I don't know. I hate trying to deal with electrical stuff or anything else, and when it comes into stuff like fan attack and whatever, if there is any type of warranty or anything on it, as soon as you open that bad boy up, there goes the warranty right away. So I mean, I'm always nervous trying to open that stuff up or deal with it or anything else. So I mean, good luck to you. Hopefully you can figure it out. Hopefully you can spot out something easily that you can repair and be able to fix it in a quick hurry and get right back into it, as it's out of warranty, it's not working, so what do I have to lose? I suppose, and with it just shutting off, it's not like it's something stupid, like you just don't have any force feedback or anything. Hell, I ran like half a year better with zero force feedback in dirt racing. I actually liked it. I almost preferred it better that way. I mean, it seemed like it was just easy as butter to roll around the racetrack, but as I've progressed, it's better now to have that force feedback, but it's definitely doable. So, I mean, if it was just that issue, it wouldn't be that big of a deal, but if it just randomly turns itself off, that seems more like it's having a shortage or something, or some sort of software issue or malware issue or something with it. I don't know what would be the problem, but I'm sure you've already done your research trying to figure out what you need to do or anything else, as it completely shuts off, lose all steering, and have to recycle the power. It blows donkey dick. Yeah, I could see that. That would suck. That would suck a lot, man. Having to, reach over to the PC or whatever else and unplug the USB cable or whatever, and take it in or out, or reach down to the power bar and unplug it that way from the power wise, and then plug it back in and let it cycle through and cycle back and everything else. And that'd be tough. That'd be rough. That'd be rough up there, man. Very, very rough. So, we're hoping for the best for you. We want to see you out here racing, not having those steering wheel issues, and not having to be parked down behind pit wall on the racetrack. Is out in front. Fluger continuing to lead the way. We'll click off lap number 47. Lap 48 goes up onto the board as he continues to stretch out his race lead. It is now 2.7 seconds between himself and the number 48 and John McNeil. McNeil, they're in position number 2, and he's starting to see that 13 run. Christian Delgado chase him down. Leroy Koblenz right there with him as Koblenz rolling there in 4th. Now we see Brandon Honeycutt up inside the top 5 here. So Honeycutt rejoins the top 5 after some early race strategy. Then we see Greg O'Berry in the 71. They're in 6th. Christopher DeWall, they're in 7th. Brandon Sanfilippo, Russell Martin Jr., Andrew Hainsley, our top 10 here on the Speedway. As Brandon Ishkanian, Zach Lockett, all coming down pit side. They've already made their pit stop. Same with William McKellar and the 15 ride of Colin Johnston. So a few drivers making early race pit stops here around lap number 50 now as we roll closer and closer to our halfway marker. Lap 50 up on the board. Lap 50 will come to an end here as our race leader will make his next trip around the speedway. You can see that difference of speed here between our race leader and that 13 ride of Colin, as Colin Johnston has worked himself around our race leader to get a lap back here on the racetrack. But you see the 80 ride already falling way far behind our that number 13 ride. Look at the difference of power that these drivers are able to lay down and roll out there. So you do see Andrew Hainsley unfortunately going a lap down there in the 29 ride. It's currently scored in our 10th position, but Fluger out in front like 2.7 seconds. So that's a pretty good gap, as now Christian Delgado has worked himself around the 48 ride of John McNeil. So McNeil back to second, Delgado there, McNeil back to third, Delgado up into second, Leroy Koblenz there in position number 4 within striking distance of our third place driver. Now it's going to be a big question of when do our race leaders start to come down pit side. And here we go, John McNeil decides to pull the trigger, brings that Slingshot Sim Racing Series playoff car down pit side. The McNeil media ride getting ready for his first and what could be only pit stop here this evening, as Victor Fluger stays out there. That could potentially mean a little bit of a leapfrog here for the 48 if he can get back out onto the racetrack here, roll some laps. But here we go, next lap around, here comes our race leader Victor Fluger down pit side. So the Outlaw wraps number 80 machine, the Team Watson Racing Setups ride, comes down pit side, forfeits that race lead over to Christian Delgado. Delgado will take that race lead as Brandon Honeycutt rolls there in position number 2 now. Rango Berry in third with Christian Delgado in position number 4. Now the drivers that come down pit side early, what this is going to really do is it's going to allow them to potentially leapfrog drivers that are in front of them, or be able to kind of pull away farther from those drivers that stay out longer. But the drivers that stay out a little bit longer than these competitors could potentially trap them a lap or multiple laps down here on the evening. If they come down pit side and a caution flag is displayed, that could really put a lot of these drivers behind the 8 ball here in this race, where the drivers that stay out, they stay on the lead lap for an extended period of time, are currently, they're sitting in a good spot where if the caution flag does fly, then they could be able to jump up here and keep them back there behind them, have a free pit stop. As you do see Christian Delgado, he's going to come down pit side this time, so Delgado makes his pit stop. But every single lap out here on the speedway, our race leaders are giving up a lot of time to those fresh tires, and that's where they can make up a lot of ground. They can, basically gain a lot of seconds here on the racetrack. Maybe you can potentially put these drivers that stay out a little bit longer a lap down or close to it here with that pit strategy. But when they come back out onto the racetrack with the fresher tires, they're going to be the faster cars out there on the speedway, and they can close those gaps. So it's a little bit of give and take here for the tire strategies, and if you want to be able to have a faster car later in this race, especially if we say clean and green and don't see any caution flags, it may open up that door here for some of these drivers to extend this run, try to run it down to lap 60, maybe lap 65, something like that, be able to run that final 30, 40 laps with the freshest tires out there on the speedways. Here we go, the 13 ride is going to make his way down pit side. Going to make sure you get down to pit road speed here. You do not want to get caught speeding down pit road, as that could really take you out of this race in a quick hurry. Could definitely put you behind the 8 ball in multiple laps down here if you get that pass-through penalty, or if you get held down here in your pit box for an extended period of time. You can fall behind in a lot of time here down pit road. So you got to make sure you have a nice, good, clean pit stop. And right now, you see that 13 getting that car jacked up. New set of tires put onto it, a couple tanks of fuel, and he is off and away. So no pit road penalty as of yet for the number 13 of Brandon Honeycutt. But Honeycutt is going to go a lap down as Rango Berry, Christopher DeWald, Brandon Sanfilippo still out there on the speedway, yet to make their green flag pit stop. Same with Russell Martin Jr. in the Sim Motion number 20 ride. So a couple different pit strategies for these contenders out there on the speedway. We'll have to wait and see how it all plays out here, or when do these drivers tend to come down pit side. Here you go, the 71 on cue. Here comes Grango Berry down pit road. Does Christopher DeWald join him here down pit side? No, looks like DeWald will roll another lap out here on the speedway. So DeWald will get that race lead. He will lead the lap, and now gonna lay another lap down here for coming down pit side. And the difference is quite drastic here. The drivers that have those fresh tires, the drivers that were already down pit side, they're currently running 30-second lap times, 30.1s, 30.2s out there on the speedway, where our race leaders that are still out there are running 31.7s, 32-second lap times, 31.8s. So they're giving up over a second and a half every single lap. Now, when they come back out on the speedway, they will be insurmountably faster than those cars with the fresher tires right now, and their tires will last a little bit longer. So longer in this run, they can continue to reel in and gain all that time back. But the big question is going to be, will they have enough time to gain all the time back that they're losing on the speedway right now? And can they also maybe gain spots off of that move? Can they put themselves closer to the front of the field? Can they better their position with this pit strategy and maybe use it to put themselves into victory lane, as Christopher DeWald still not coming down pit road? So he is one of the only 3 drivers now yet to come down pit side. And right here you'll see Rango Berry with those fresh tires rolling down to the inside of his Liberty University teammate here down on the bottom side of the racetrack. He's able to just put that power down and roll through the corner. Same with this 13 ride of Colin Johnston. Both drivers going to put themselves back on the lead lap here as they roll around our race leader. And DeWald still yet to come down pit road. So this is very interesting. It's going to be very fun to watch and see what these drivers can do and how these strategies are going to play out. As we saw a lot of these drivers come down pit side, even some of them a little earlier, like Brandon Ishkanian, who's now in position number 4. He would technically be our race leader if our top 3 come to pit road right now. He would consume this race lead and be out in front, but he came down pit road 10 laps prior to his teammate in the 80 ride of Victor Pfluger, who came down pit road on lap number 52. So Pfluger is running quite a bit better laps than what the 25 ride is running right now, and he's going to be closing that gap and reeling him in here in a quick hurry. So there's got to be a little love and take here with it, with the pit strategy and everything else. And we'll have to wait and see how this one kind of all plays out for these drivers, for these competitors. You see John McNeil came down pit road on lap number 51. He's trying to join this fight towards the front of the field. You'll see Christian Delgado came down pit road on lap number 54, still running some very good fast lap times. Currently scored in the 9th position. Has to make up about 7 seconds now between himself and the 80 ride of Victor Pfluger, and all he did was run about 2 extra laps out there on the speedway compared to what was our race leader, Victor Pfluger here. So it'll be interesting. And we do see Brandon Sanfilippo now getting passed as well. You'll see Russell Martin Jr. make his way down pit side. So Russell Martin Jr. down pit road here on lap number 65 here. He's going to have about 35 laps. Green flag racing when he comes back out onto the racetrack to try to hunt down some of these drivers, try to advance his position here in the field. This was a pit strategy that may have been ruined right there by that move. Unfortunately missed his pit box, went a little too far, had to throw that car in reverse and back it back up into his pit box there. That's going to take a second or two out of this pit stop, make him a little slower down pit side. That could hurt the odds or chances of Russell Martin Jr. working himself back up through the field, as he is going to go a lap down now, scored in the 13th position here. Wait and see if he can battle his way back to the front of the field. This Christopher DeWald still out in front, still yet to come down pit side. Same with Brandon Sanfilippo. So this is an interesting call. This is a very interesting race for strategy-wise, because you do see that number 82 of Christopher DeWald now heading down pit side. So he's going to forfeit that race lead over to the 25 of Brandon Ish, as Ish Kanian is going to jump into the race lead here. He's got about 2.3 seconds between himself and his TWRS teammate, Victor Pfluger. So Pfluger, though, with that 10 lap better tires, is hunting down that 25 ride in a rapid pace out here on the speedway. Zach Lockett back there behind him in the 93 came down on lap number 44, so he's gaining up on the 25 ride as well. Just a little bit, but Victor Pfluger is pulling away here from Zach Lockett and from the number 75 of William McKellar, as they were a pair of drivers that came down early trying to use this short pitch strategy to advance their position. John McNeil rolling here in 5th, as we do see Brandon Sanfilippo now make his way down pit side. So this will cycle everything through. So green flag pit stops have come to a close here in this one. Green flag pit stops coming to an end, and that means that things could go clean and green here to the end of this race. None of these drivers, I do believe, have to come back down pit side for another pit stop, except for the drivers that potentially came down pit road early, like Colin Johnston, like Zach Lockett, or Brandon Ishkanian. Can they make it on fuel? They should be able to, as we saw, Brandon Sanfilippo make it 67 laps before coming down pit side. Same with Christopher DeWald. Russell Martin Jr., 64 laps before coming down pit side. Now, they're going to be those drivers with the better tires on the racetrack here, right down till probably the next quite a while here. These guys are going to be running some very, very fast lap times, and that's where they can try to advance their positions here and move themselves through the field and closer to what could be a race win here this evening. As our Green flag pit stops come to a close here. Drivers getting done all of the green flag pit stops here in this one. 70 laps done out of 100. So we got 30 more laps left to go. That time by the start-finish line, and we'll jump into a quick Peacemaker Gaming crank it up. So crank up that volume and cheer on your favorite drivers. We crank it up here with the Slingshot Sim Racing Series. the 80 ride of Victor Pfluger. Pfluger continuing to lead the way here in this one as our Crank It Up is going to get cranked down here after a beautiful Crank It Up section here, giving you guys the sights and sounds around the beautiful Charlotte Motor Speedway. As 15 laps left to go here for Pfluger to pick up the win here this evening. The TWRS machine out in front, continuing to pull away from the rest of the field here, has about 4.7 seconds now between himself and John McNeil. McNeil going to be trying to hang on to position number 2 here as the 20 ride. That is one of our lap down drivers, Russell Martin Jr., staying out there quite a bit later, trying to run a little bit different strategy here compared to some of these other drivers. Finds himself a lap down, quite a ways away from our race leader, but trying to pass our second place driver, John McNeil, out there on the speedway. Our third place competitor, 13 ride of Christian Delgado there in that third spot on the speedway. Then we see Brandon Ishkanian there in position number 4 and looking for more, but here comes Brandon Honeycutt chasing him down here for the 5th position on the racetrack. William McKellar back there in 6th with Leroy Koblenz, Zach Lockett, and Greg O'Berry. Our top 9 out there on the racetrack is Christopher DeWald. One of those other drivers stayed out there quite a bit longer, didn't come down pit side till lap 66. He's one of those drivers with the newest tires on the racetrack, but he finds himself here in that 10th position, currently a lap down, but he has our race leader right here in front of him, so Delgado could potentially put himself back onto the lead lap, but I don't think he's going to have enough time to catch back up to any of the other drivers early inside our top here in battle of the game positions out there on the racetrack, unless we see a late race caution flag flying, and knock on wood, we haven't seen a yellow flag yet this afternoon. It's been clean and green racing, and Victor Pfluger's been out in front for majority of these laps, continuing to lead the way here. The last thing he wants to see is that caution flag now with about 5 seconds of a gap between himself and McNeil. So McNeil here in position number 2. You do see Christian Delgado slowly but surely reeling him in. About 2 seconds back is Brandon Honeycutt. Now Honeycutt has 2 lap better tires than Christian Delgado and has about 5 lap better tires than John McNeil for position number 2. So Honeycutt could be on his march up and towards the top 3 here on the evening. But the big thing is, does he have enough time to chase these guys down? Last time around, he only gained about 1/10 of a second, 2/10 on Delgado and on John McNeil. So not really gaining a whole lot of time here to close that gap from about 2 seconds, to chasing these guys down. So we'll see if he can find that extra gear, jump up here and make something happen with only 10 laps left to go. Is Jeff Brown coming in, showing the big love here in this one, dropping that like on the stream. I appreciate that, brother, coming in. It's matching that thumbs up here on the broadcast. This one is coming down to the nitty gritty in a quick hurry here, and these drivers trying to hunt down, trying to chase down this number 80 ride. It's becoming more and more of a tall task as he continues just laying down great lap times and continues to stretch that race lead out more and more here on the speedway. So it's pretty wild to watch what these drivers are able to do, and seeing a driver like Pfluger jump in here and put on a show, put on a great race here like he has already this evening, no matter how this one finishes off, whether or not it's a caution flag that comes out or if something happens to that 80 ride. Nothing to hang his head about, man. He's ran a picture-perfect race so far here in this one, and everyone else has been trying to hunt him down here for a lot of laps. As McNeil still there in second. He's still about 5 seconds back behind our race leader, Christian Delgado, right there in that 3rd position. Brandon Honeycutt back here in position number 4. Now he's still tracking them down inside the top 3, but he is running out of time in a quick hurry. He's only dropped about 2/10, 3/10 of a second off of that gap between himself and our front 2 second and 3rd place drivers. So he's not really gaining a whole lot of time out there on the racetrack. He's not moving forward here throughout the field. So interesting to see on whether or not he can find his way to the front of the pack or not, as we do see Victor Pfluger out in front, continuing to lead the way, this time down across the line. The TWRS machine will click off another lap, and he will see 6 more laps left to go here in this one. 6 more laps of racing action here this evening from the beautiful Charlotte Motor Speedway in our second elimination race of the season here for the Sim Racing, or the Slingshot Sim Racing Series. The Slingshot racers out there on the speedway put on a good show for us here this afternoon. So far, caution-free, 95 laps in the history books and only 5 more laps left to go here this afternoon. And the 80 ride looking to lead pretty much all of them here this afternoon, as he's been that reflection of perfection here this evening, even through the pit stops and everything else. He's able to hit his marks, keep this car pointed in the right direction, and has been able to work himself through and around a lot of this traffic, whether or not it's drivers on newer tires that have been working around him or drivers that, you know, he's passing out there on the racetrack. He's been able to do a fantastic job here of just continuing to keep up the pace, continuing to lay down great lap times. Right now, between our top 5, he is still the fastest car on the racetrack. Actually, between our top 10, he's still the fastest car on the racetrack. So laying down some absolutely incredible lap times here for that TWRS number 80 machine. As Pfluger works to the back bumper here of Christopher DeWald. DeWald is the last driver on the lead lap right now, currently being scored in the 10th position. Still on the lead lap. He would love to see a caution flag, able to rejoin the rear of the field and maybe use a little bit of pit strategy to his advantage here. But I think we see that look like everybody's coming down pit side, and it's going to be an absolute haymaker of a show to that checkered flag. Pfluger, though, with an almost over 6 second lead now between himself and John McNeil. He does not want to see a yellow flag. He wants to see that white flag and checker flag come out here as quickly as possible as we get closer and closer to the end of this race. Is down across the line. He gets the twin sticks from our flagman. 2 more laps left to go. 2 more laps left here for Victor Pfluger. Pfluger looking to pick up the checkered flag and put himself into victory lane here with the Slingshot Sim Racing Series as their premium series, the Cup cars here in action this evening. And so far it's been all Victor Pfluger. Is out at corner number 4. No caution flags on the racetrack. Down across the line, we'll see that white flag fly one more time around for the TWRS, the Team Watson Racing Setups number 80 ride of Victor Pfluger at the front of the field, looking to pick up a big win here this evening as the Outlaw Raps number 80 ride. Looking pretty out there on the speedways. The final time down the back straightaway into corner number 3. Pfluger nice and easy, even with some lap traffic there in front of him, will round corner number 4 for the final time here this evening as Victor Pfluger will pick up the checkered flag here this evening at the beautiful Charlotte Motor Speedway. Victor Pfluger getting the win, his first win here in the Slingshot Sim Racing Series. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for the Team Watson Racing Setups ride as he picks up the checkered flag and puts himself into the history books here this evening as another winner here in our premium series with the Slingshot Racing crew. As the 80 run will pull up to the front straightaway, he's going to get ready to burn down the house as John McNeil and Christian Delgado will round out our top 3 here in this one. But it's all Pfluger here this evening. Victor Pfluger with the W, picking up a big win over 6 seconds. It was actually 6.4 seconds the gap between first and second out there on the speedway. A dominating win in dominating fashion here this evening. And Victor Pfluger deserves to celebrate this win all evening long. Man, this was a hell of a run, a hell of a performance here at Charlotte Motor Speedway for Victor Pfluger. We'll get ready to pull him up here into the broadcast booth for his post-race interview after a hell of a drive right there, man. That was a great race, a great run all evening long for our race winner. We'll have to wait and see when we can get Pfluger up into the waiting room. There we go. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for our race winner, Victor Pfluger. We'll pull him up into the broadcast booth. Hey, Victor, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Take a copy.
Yes, sir. How are you tonight?
Not too bad, Victor, man. What a run. What a race. A little Sunday cruise for you here at Charlotte Motor Speedway as you were able to quickly race your way to the front of the field. And once you grabbed that race lead, you never looked back, man. Leading majority of the laps here this evening and in dominating fashion, picking up the checker flag in a caution-free elimination race here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, man. Take us back through this one, and how does it feel to be up here picking up the win?
It's so cool to be able to come up here to the Cup Series in this league and find some success so quickly and out of the gate for us. Can't do it without my teammates, all the guys at Wild Gosling Racing. They are super supportive. It really does take the whole team to pull these victories off. And wow, what a cool one tonight was. Car just really got really happy on the bottom, and we were able to deal with it really well down there. So I'll take it.
Absolutely, brother. You gotta take him when you can get him, and you got this one here, with some fair ease out there on the speedway. It was some tight battling early in this race. We saw, McNeil right there. We saw a few of these other drivers like your teammate Brandon Ishkanian there as well, and Zach Lockett. A lot of drivers kind of all bunched together early in this race up at the front of the field, but you were able to work yourself around them and then get this race lead. And after you got the race lead, did you think you were going to hang on to it, or did you expect one of these other drivers to maybe make a bold strategy call that might make them a little closer to you, or what was going through your mind there during all these green flag pit stops and all the different strategies that drivers were rolling out there on the speedway?
Yeah, so I really wasn't sure what to expect out of the car on that long of a run. I was kind of figuring we'd get a caution and get the first set of tires somewhere closer to lap 30. So once we got in that really kind of extended run, it was a lot of just kind of watching the deltas and feeling the car for what it wanted to do or wasn't going to do. Ended up shifting when I wasn't expecting to, kind of late in the run. So that normally doesn't work out well for me, but it woke the car back up. We pulled some pace back out, and then it was just kind of watching for who wanted to pit first. I don't remember who was the first one to come in. I think it was my teammate Ish, actually, real early. He came, and right after that, I was kind of watching for when the 75 or the 48 was going to make their move. And once they did, it was time for us to come down. I'm always super nervous about green flag stops in this car. It's not the car that I drive the most. So, and it's really finicky with its brake, and especially here with the fixed set and how much rear bias you have to run in it. Was really worried about just trying to get cleanly on and off pit road without making a mistake there that was going to cost me a lot of time or worse, get me a penalty. So once we got clear of that and I could kind of see how everybody was going to settle out, it was just kind of setting the right pace, setting the right tone, taking care of what tires we had on the car still at that point, and making sure that we could track down those guys who pulled the undercut real early.
Absolutely. Well, you're able to run it to perfection, able to make it down pit roll with ease and without those penalties. And, normally we see a couple penalties here throughout the race, especially with the green flag pit stops. And I do believe the only penalty we saw was another teammate of yours, Colin Johnston, making his second pit stop on a completely different strategy than everybody else. And that one really hurt him and his chances of getting a solid run in here this evening. But you got to be pretty happy not only with your performance, but your team's performance. Seeing, Brandon run some laps at the front of the field. Obviously, his strategy didn't quite work out for him coming down pit road earlier, but it works out perfectly here tonight for you as you're able to pull this 80 ride up and into victory lane. Victor, a great run and a great drive here for yourself. You pull yourself into victory lane. Who'd you like to thank for such a great run and strong performance here this evening?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thanks to Team Watson Racing setups and all the support that they give us. Without those guys, we would only be about as half as good as we are. Also got to say a big thanks to my teammates here at Wild Gosling for the support. Again, I can't do this without these guys. Their inputs are invaluable and their knowledge base is really helpful to me. Got to say hi to my kids, Dart and Jameson at home, and my wife Vanessa, who puts up with me doing this on weekday nights. And hi, Mom and Dad. I'm sure you guys were watching this one. So
Beauty. Well, Victor, congratulations on the great run. Congratulations on the great win here this evening, and welcome into the history books here with the Slingshot Sim Racing Series. Being able to put yourself into the winner's circle, into the history books here this evening, and I'm sure in the future many more wins to come your way here at the Slingshot Sim Racing crew.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on tonight. Thanks for the awesome broadcast. Thanks to everybody at SSR for putting this league on, and look forward to talking to you again soon.
Absolutely, brother. Well, enjoy the rest of your evening, and don't party too hard down there in Victory Lane.
Thank you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our race winner, Victor Pfluger. As Pfluger picks up the win and pulls himself into victory lane here this evening, as we'll get ready for our second place finisher here this evening. Waiting down pit side, we're going to get ready to pull John McNeil up and into the broadcast booth here for his post-race interview. Hey, John, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. To get a copy?
Yes, I got you, Aaron.
John, man, another good run, another solid performance for you here tonight, and being able to not only come home with a solid second place run, able to lead a couple laps out there as well in the 48 machine, but knowing that you're able to punch your ticket into the next round of the playoffs as well, giving you a shot and an opportunity here to race for one of the final spots in the championship pool.
Yeah, Aaron, this is huge for momentum, man. Like, with the 8 going to go down to 4. I mean, I think that Greg, Sean, and Christian are looking pretty good, right? And so obviously things can happen there in wins and such, but momentum is huge because I'm going to be starting with a whole lot less stage points than them in this round. And before that wreck on lap 5 last week at Talladega, then I ran the stats, and Christian and I were tied for the best average finish in the playoffs of 5th. So, I mean, huge things going on for, I mean, a lot of us, but so happy. So grateful to have my teammates that helped me out a ton. And then, just momentum right now. It just looking for that win, man.
Absolutely. Still looking for that win, still trying to find your way into victory lane here, especially in these playoffs. And now with 3 more races coming up, and anything can happen. Obviously we go back to another 1.5 miles at Vegas, and then we go to Homestead Miami Speedway, and then back to Martinsville, a short track racetrack here. How do you feel about going into these next 3 races with an opportunity to make it into that championship race here and be one of those drivers contending for a championship? Do you think you can get in on points, or do you think it's going to be a must-win situation for you? Do you think you gotta get a win here in these next 3 races?
I think points are going to be tough because of who I'm racing against. So many good, talented drivers. But I have a lot of confidence after here at Charlotte. No, we're going to Las Vegas. At the beginning of the year, I could not save tires to save my life, but I've had some help and been able to work on that. And so I feel honestly like there's a shot at a win in these next 3 races, which if I can win next week, then that helps me a ton for Phoenix, right? But that's just ideal. You can wish all you want. But I think these next 3 races I'm super excited for. I mean, Martinsville, early in the year, I was so excited for, showed up a little late, didn't get my setup in, like brake settings and stuff. So I felt like I left a bunch on the table there.
Absolutely. Well, tonight it seemed like everything was working pretty well for you as you were able to, jump out there, lead a couple laps early in this race. Then the 80 ride, one of the newcomers here in the series, Victor Pfluger, able to jump up there, take that race lead, and able to pull away with this race, man. Putting on a fairly dominant run here as you guys were down pit road a little bit earlier. You were trying to chase him down. Unfortunately, could never find the speed to get closer to that 80 ride, but you were able to hold off Christian Delgado and a lot of other fast drivers here this evening and pull yourself up here onto the podium in position number 2 and get that, ticket into the next round of the playoffs, man. How does it feel to not only have this good run and to have this good race, but to know that you're in that round of playoffs, you're in that opportunity where it's your time to strike, you got that momentum built up. How do you go into these next 3 races and just execute your plan to perfection?
I mean, absolutely. Momentum's everything. Practice is going to be huge. But for today, I mean, Victor did a hell of a job. Like, he put on a show. no way I was going to be able to catch him there after he started pulling away in the second half of the second run. And then Christian, man, he's fast. He's really good at tire saving. It worked out for me to have a big enough gap and some lap cars in between. If it was another couple laps, he would have gotten me, but he races me clean. It was a good run, good race. A lot of respect around a lot of these guys, including, my teammates, William and Zach specifically, that I raced around quite a bit. They gave me the lanes I needed when they were on a different tire strategy. Chris, he was on a different strategy. He just let me by, when he was a lap down. Can't thank Greg enough as well. He always helps a ton.
Absolutely, brother. Well, John, is there anyone else you'd like to thank here for another great run and great performance here this evening?
Absolutely. You, my teammates, John for putting on this league for sure as well. So yeah, you have a great night as well, Aaron.
Absolutely, John. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy the rest of your night. And hopefully we'll see you back up here in the broadcast booth next week and maybe one spot better and up in victory lane yourself.
Let's see ya.
See ya. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up there for our second place finisher, John McNeil. As McNeil comes home in position number 2, a great run and a solid performance there for that number 48 machine. As now we'll get ready to pull in our third place finisher. We should still have him here on the webcam as well. There you go. You get a good look at him right there. That is Christian Delgado coming home in position number 3. We're going to pull Christian up here into the broadcast booth for his post-race interview. Hey, Christian, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Aaron.
Christian, man, another good run, another good race here for you. We saw you saving those tires, getting these good runs later in these stages that we basically ran, cutting this race in the half with the pit stop strategies. And, you were able to roll yourself up here into a solid third-place run, but what did you need to do a little bit differently here this evening to maybe get another win here in this stage of the playoffs?
Yeah, Aaron, I definitely shot myself in the foot in qualifying. I had a good lap going and just pushed a little bit too hard out of forward, barely got into the wall. And of course, for people that don't know in the sim, if you get in the wall, it invalidates your lap time. So it didn't matter. I could have ran 7 seconds faster on that quali and it wouldn't have counted. So I ended up starting P12, P14-ish, something or somewhere around there. And fortunately, that's a lot of track position, a lot of time lost just from me starting back there. I tried my best to use up a little bit more than I wanted to at the start to get up there into like the top 5-ish and then kind of settle in. But by the time I got there, I think I caught Victor down to about 2-ish seconds when I went pit, and then I don't know what happened. Everybody else decided better stop than I did, I guess. I was trying to be a little bit more conservative. I didn't want to overdo it, give myself a penalty, and lost a lot of time there. And when I came out, Victor had a 9-second lead on me, so I just had to push as hard as I could but also tire save is the best I could, it's really hard to do in this car, especially at Charlotte, because there's so much grip in the track with how smooth the surface is, and it's hard to save and push at the same time. And I know it kind of sounds contradictory, but it's that fine line you have to do. But, Victor did a hell of a job maintaining the gap, had a good pit stop, and then I just didn't have enough laps to get back to John. We had a lap car that we were battling the whole race. Unfortunately, I feel like that was kind of the deciding factor whether I got around McNeil or not. And because when they're racing side by side, I had no clean air to get my car out of. So I know John was really running the bottom, so I was trying to run the top, and I was catching him because I had the clean air. And when him and that lap car started battling out, it just took all the air off my front end, and I had to use my stuff up a little bit more. And then just not enough time. I think I would have got John with maybe a couple more laps, but no, that's how it goes sometimes. Just one lap too short.
Absolutely, brother, but still coming home with a solid third-place run and already having that win here in this stage, knowing that you punched your ticket into that round of 8, and now seeing this round come to a close, seeing those competitors you got to go up against here in this next stage of our playoffs. How are you feeling going into these next 3 races, knowing that you have a pretty decent opportunity here to try to punch your ticket into that championship 4 and be a part of that championship race at Phoenix?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident going into Vegas. You know, as we can see, I feel like my strong suit are these 1.5 mile style tracks. I definitely need to work on my short track stuff. I know Greg and Sean are definitely the guys that beat on the short tracks. Unfortunately, that's where the championship is. There at Phoenix. Greg won earlier in the season, you know, through pit strategy, granted, but I mean, I'm definitely gonna have to put some homework in to get at least some more laps in on these short tracks. I feel like I don't really need to do a lot when it comes to the 1.5 miles. When it comes to preparing a lot, but yeah, Vegas. I feel like I got a pretty good chance to go and be competitive there, and then I'm not sure what's after Vegas, but I know Martinsville is going to be the
Homestead's the
Homestead. Okay, Homestead. We ran really well there. I know Adam won the race there, but I think we ran what in the top 2, top 3 all race there. Hopefully, we can go and be somewhat competitive there. But Martinsville, we're gonna definitely feel like Martinsville's gonna be a attrition track who can just stay out of trouble there. I mean, I've never raced in any league that hasn't been kind of chaotic at Martinsville. That's just how the track is here in the sim. And then Phoenix, I feel like it's one of my better short tracks, but definitely need to put more homework in there. Obviously, we didn't win at Phoenix, so definitely we have some type of improving to do. But yeah, hopefully we can carry this momentum into the round of 8, and hopefully maybe get this sim motion machine back in victory lane.
Absolutely, brother. Well, another great run, another great race here at Charlotte for you as you come home in position number 3. Christian, who'd you like to thank for another great run, another great drive here this afternoon?
Yeah, first of all, I have to thank my team owner and John Ross for putting me in the car and believing in me. Unfortunately, for the most of the season, I haven't really had a lot of teammates, but I do have to thank my teammate Leroy for coming out tonight and running. No, he hasn't been able to race as much as he probably would like to, but you know, that's life. Stuff happens, and unfortunately, you can't race every race that you want to. But also, have to give a huge shout out to my sponsors: Track Racer, High Velocity TV, Sim Motion. Use code 802 for I think it's a 5% discount over there at simmotion.com. Steel Car Detailing, thank you Titan for doing everything you've done for me and you know, helping funding my racing career, if you want to call it that. I have to give a huge shout out to the Bean team. Thank you, Jeff, Jackson, Soli, Matthew, everybody over there for doing what they do, being a part of my life. Gotta give a huge shout out to all the Wildman crew who's raced with us and all the guys in that Discord. Lastly, got to give a huge shout out to the people over at twitch.tv/ChristianBoss13. Don't mind, go ahead, give me a follow over there. You know, we're streaming over there, whether it's broadcasts or doing stuff like this over there and have a good time. But lastly, got to give a huge shout out to the admins, John Ross, Ron Luzzi, and Russ for doing everything they do, putting the show on in the background. You know, we definitely couldn't do it without them. You know, putting all the pieces together. All we're doing it, you know, as drivers, all we have to do is come on here and put a good show on for you fans at home. But they're the people that are actually putting the puzzle pieces together so we can get out here and race. And then lastly, once again, got to give a huge shout out to you, Aaron, for, you know, doing God's work, putting on this broadcast and putting a good show on for the fans at home. I hope me and John at least made it somewhat entertaining at the end there. You know, Victor kind of whipped it out on us and gapped us all. But hopefully me and John put on a good finish for y'all. But yeah, got to give a huge shout out to you for all you do. Not only broadcasting here, but being a part of the community and doing all you do here.
Absolutely, brother. It's always my pleasure to be up here in the booth and watch you guys duking it out there on the speedway. Christian, a great run, a great drive. Congratulations again with the 3rd place finish, and we can't wait to see you back in action next Wednesday and hopefully see you, you know, right back up here in the broadcast booth and maybe a couple spots better and back into victory lane yourself and getting that ticket into our championship race.
Yeah, we'll see. I look forward to it, Aaron.
Absolutely, Christian. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and congratulations again on the 3rd place run.
Thanks a lot, man.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our third place finisher, Christian Delgado. As Christian coming home there in position number 3. A great run and a great drive there for the 13 ride as he parks himself up here on the podium. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for us here this evening, but we do have one more thing to do. Thank you to our sponsors over at Butt Crack Motorsports. We got the random number generator here that we are going to pull up and onto the screen. So let's make sure that everyone gets a good view here on the random number generator. So there were 16 drivers that took the green flag here this afternoon. One of these 16 drivers will be lucky enough to earn themselves an extra little bit of a payday here this evening with the Butt Crack Motorsports giveaway this afternoon. So I'm going to click the button a whole bunch of times, kind of get things recycled here, kind of get things flowing for the generator. Then we're going to stop and we'll let you know when the next one that we click will be the winner. So we're just going to click it a whole bunch of times here, give you guys a kind of look, a feel of what this is doing, and then we're gonna get ready to kind of get this kind of stopped, and then we're just gonna go with it. So we're gonna go probably right about somewhere around there. We're gonna stop it right there. So what we're gonna do is the next time that we hit it, the next generated number will be the winner of our Butt Crack Motorsports giveaway here this afternoon, and it's number 15. Number 15. Ty Dickinson, number 15, picking up the win here this afternoon with the random generated number here for the Butt Crack Motorsports giveaway. Huge thank you there to Butt Crack Motorsports for being a part of the series all season long, being an absolutely amazing man coming in and giving back to all these drivers and everything else himself. And we still haven't seen Russell Martin himself pick up the Butt Crack Motorsports win either here. So it's been a little bit wild not being able to see him win his own money back, but we still got a few more nights to go, a few more races left on the season, and a few more opportunities there for Russell Martin Jr. to maybe earn his own money back here in one of these giveaways. But a huge shout out there again to Butt Crack Motorsports. A huge shout out to everybody coming in and showing the love here throughout the evening. Everyone coming in with the likes, the comments, the shares, man. I appreciate each and every single one of you coming in and showing all the love here this afternoon. If you guys haven't already, make sure you guys do us a favor. It's absolutely free to do. Hit the like button on the broadcast, whether it's on Facebook or over on YouTube. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you are watching on YouTube, or hit the follow button if you're watching over on Facebook and Twitch. Unfortunately, though, that is going to do it for this evening, but we will be back in action for another doubleheader tomorrow evening as we head to the dirt track for back-to-back races tomorrow night. So if you guys want to tune into those, make sure you guys hit those bell notifications so that way you guys don't miss any of the amazing racing action here on Peacemaker Gaming. Unfortunately, that will do it for us here this evening. Thank y'all for tuning in, and I'll see you guys all back here tomorrow night. Peace out for now, baby. Peace out for now, ladies and gentlemen.
Brooks, where fun meets fright, where every experience transports you to a world of fun. Play 18 holes of blacklight mini golf in ancient Egypt, a haunted house, and beyond the grave. Step inside our virtual reality arena, where you take control of video games and virtual worlds. Battle robots, shoot zombies, and compete against your friends. Roll your next birthday with our VIP party pack. Our party pros are ready to entertain you with a fright fest you'll never forget. Perfect for an action-packed date night full of flirty fun. Our state-of-the-art arcade has the latest games with the coolest prizes. Be sure to feast on some tasty morsels in the Graveyard Grill. So come on, bring your ghoulish gang over to Scary Strokes, where every experience matters. Welcome to Scary Strokes, where fun meets fright, where every experience transports you to a world of fun. Play 18 holes of blacklight mini golf in ancient Egypt, a haunted house, and beyond the grave. Step inside our virtual reality arena, where you take control of video games and virtual worlds. Battle robots, shoot zombies, and compete against your friends. Roll your next birthday with our VIP party pack. Our party pros are ready to entertain you with a fright fest you'll never forget. Perfect for an action-packed date night full of flirty fun. Our state-of-the-art arcade has the latest games with the coolest prizes. Be sure to feast on some tasty morsels in the Graveyard Grill. So come on, bring your coolish gang over to Scary Strokes, where every experience matters. Welcome to Scary Strokes, where fun meets fright, where every experience transports you to a world of fun. Play 18 holes of blacklight minigolf in ancient Egypt, a haunted house, and beyond the grave. Step inside our virtual reality arena, where you take control of video games and virtual worlds. Battle robots, shoot zombies, and compete against your friends. Throw your next birthday with our VIP party pack. Our party pros are ready to entertain you with a fright fest you'll never forget. Perfect for an action-packed date night full of flirty fun. Our state-of-the-art arcade has the latest games with the coolest prizes. Be sure to feast on some tasty morsels in the Graveyard Grill. So come on, bring your coolish gang over to Scary Strokes, where every experience matters. Welcome